Yo, what's up, guys? Rajdeep here, and welcome to the F1 2020 Silverstone Grand Prix review. So, okay, right off the bat, the Grand Prix itself was okay, not that exciting. People settled into their rhythms somewhere down the line. There was tire conservation going on because of the high temperatures and people being on similar tire strategies. But the finish was absolutely unexpected and mind blowing. So, I had my mind literally blown off. But we will start off, we'll just mention the incidents that happened, how the race progressed. Okay, first of all, Hulkenberg was not able to take part in the race because his power unit was not, they couldn't basically fire his power unit, so he couldn't start the race, which was very disappointing because he came into the scenario when Sergio Perez tested positive for COVID. So it was really disappointing for him, qualifying and getting into the rhythm but not starting the race. So that must not have been a very pleasant experience. But the restart happened and people were on the medium tires. The first DNF was Kevin Magnussen when he entangled with Albon in the penultimate corner. So according to me, Albon had the corner. He was in the apex. He had that line, but Kevin Magnussen did not leave Albon enough space. So according to me, that was Kevin Magnussen's fault, but the stewards, that's not me, right? So it's my personal opinion. The stewards, however, thought that it was Albon's fault and he shouldn't have gone for the move over there and gave him a 5-second penalty. So coming to the next incident, it was on lap number 14, which triggered safety car number 2 for the race, which was Danny Kvyat, who lost it in Maggots and Beckett. So according to the commentators and according from what we saw from our perspective, from my perspective, it was not the driver's fault. It was rather the car just did not change directions as swiftly as you would want it to. He just went too much on the curbs maybe, and he just couldn't change his directions as quick as he would have liked. So the car just slipped underneath him, and there was suspension damage. His tires flew off, wheels flew off, and the whole shebang, and everything happened. And it was very unfortunate. He was driving well, he was having a good race, and AlphaTauri would have had a better result with both drivers on the grid. But nevertheless, that was retirement number 3 rather, in total, because Hulkenberg did not start the race. Now, moving forward, what happened was everybody was on the same strategy choice because everybody pit in for the hard tires, almost the entire grid pit in for hard tires when the Kvyat caused a safety car on track, and people were just conserving tires up to that point, waiting for some sort of release, some sort of trigger that if one team triggered, everybody was just rushed into the pits. And that happened due to that safety car, and everybody pit in except, of course, for Romain Grosjean. He was completely on a different strategy. Gunther Steiner mentioned this, that if they have to actually get something out of these races because they don't have the raw pace right now, if they want to get something out of the races, they need to do something different, and they did, but at the end it did not really pay off for them because what they did different was actually plain weird. Now coming to the main talking point was the last 2.5 laps of the race, where both the Mercedes cars suffered from terminal tire failures. Not so terminal in case of Hamilton, whom I would still say is, although that was an exceptional drive, but I would still say he was lucky because the kind of failures that Sainz and Carlos Sainz from McLaren and Valtteri Bottas faced were a bit further ahead than what actually Hamilton faced. So definitely, yes, Verstappen could have gotten that victory. He could have actually beat Hamilton today. But I think that strategy was playing it still safer than what it could have been, because seeing 3 cars suffer from colossal tire failures over a course of 1 lap, it's got to be triggering, right? Because Verstappen, again, was coming on the radio. He said this in the post-race interviews that he was actually struggling with tires and he was asking for the status, like what's happening to other cars, what's going on around me. And he knew the gap behind him was well and good, so he could have actually continued. But again, I think in his case, he should not have pit in that lap. He could have gotten the race victory, but Red Bull played it safe. They said that 19 points is better than no points, what happened to Bottas basically, because Bottas suffered the failure just a tad bit early from Hamilton because he was right on Hamilton's tail. He was within a second, 2 seconds, his engine was getting hotter and he was constantly pushing, whereas Hamilton was in the lead. He was controlling the pace, so he could actually, he was very relaxed. He even said this in the post-race interview. Now coming to Albon. Alexander Albon drove a brilliant drive today. Failures from Carlos Sainz and Valtteri Bottas in the final laps promoted him to P8. He started P12 and he came in P8 after 2 stops. And those are legitimate 2 stops, not done on the safety car. plus a 5-second penalty. So if you see, his overall race pace was good, his driving was on point, and I think Albon drove a spectacular race. And for me, Alexander Albon would be driver of the day. And the luckiest driver, however, today is Charles Leclerc. That completely unexpected podium from Ferrari, where the second Ferrari is Sebastian Vettel. I've got nothing against him personally, but he was struggling against Alfa Romeo. He was not able to keep up with Giovinazzi, and you see Charles Leclerc being lucky enough to be awarded a podium. So that's it, guys. That's the race review for the Silverstone Grand Prix for the first weekend out. It's a double header, so we have another race coming up next weekend. Hopefully results will change. We'll see different strategy calls because the temperatures will be higher in the next weekend. So says the forecast. So we will see different tire strategy calls being made. People qualifying on the softer tires, going for 2 stoppers rather than 1 stoppers, because 1 stoppers are exceptionally dangerous from what we saw today. So here's to hoping that racing is more fun over the course of the next weekend. I'll see you guys next time then. Bye bye.